Hello, Oncers, and welcome back to an exciting episode here at AFTERBUZZ TV. We're talking Season 6, Episode 18, where Bluebirds Fly. And yes, we are going to talk all about making pancakes, if you get my drift. So stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Love it. That was a good, intense opening right there. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. In case you forgot who I am, because I've been gone for 2 weeks, I'm Tiona Hobson. I'm usually here all the time, and you know me and you love me. At least I hope you do. Anyways.
We still love you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Joining me tonight, I've got Dakota T. Jones.
What is up, guys? You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Mr. Dakota T. Jones.
And the Professor, Serafini.
Hello, everyone. Yes, you can follow me on Twitter at SeraphiniTV.
Okay, guys, look, usually I try to start each episode with like flashbacks because you know it's how the episodes usually open, but not tonight. We're talking pancakes. We're talking
pancakes.
making pancakes.
Yes, ma'am.
Because Hook and Emma was all up in that kitchen about to make a bunch of little pancakes, if you get my drift.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, it's true.
I think Dakota literally just got it.
I just got that. Just
Yeah.
all the little pancake
The
batter
pancake,
and
yeah.
Oh, my
It
goodness.
was so cute. I as a hashtag hooker for life and Captain Swan all the way 100%.
all the way.
This scene was my favorite of the season.
Ooh.
I have to say.
Better than the engagement. Both engagements.
Better
I
than
think.
both engagements.
What I enjoyed about it, it got hot and steamy real quick.
it did.
Because in the morning, it's like,
Yeah.
you haven't even had breakfast yet.
Right?
Like, calm
Like,
down.
what's she putting in
know.
them pancakes?
I know, seriously, I want some of that.
I mean,
What do
I
they
like to
call
put
it,
a little
like-
cinnamon in mine.
But they just they went ahead and just
A little
put
bit
goat
cream
weed
on
in
top.
theirs.
They were going for it. But
Yeah.
okay, so the whole time I'm like, okay, who's gonna walk in? Someone's gonna walk in. Is Henry home right now? Is Henry upstairs and
Henry.
gonna?
Oh.
I thought it was gonna be Henry. Instead, it was even more awkward. Mom,
Mom.
I think it's always better when the parents walk in.
as opposed to the child. Yes, a child
Well,
walking in on
it's
that
just,
can
like,
traumatize
super
them for
awkward.
life.
I
Or-
think Henry's at the age where he knows.
I mean, he knows.
I think he probably knows. I don't know. He's kind of sheltered, so who knows if he actually knows? He's probably just in there writing
Wait.
his book, making symbols.
What happened to his girlfriend? Oh yeah,
got
she went
Violet.
back. Yeah,
Yeah.
Violet. She went back.
She went back
She
to
gone.
Camelot.
Okay, because I was gonna say maybe he's okay, but no.
No.
No. But
He's
okay,
single as
so
a Pringle.
I mean, this was just a really cute scene, especially, you know, after the last few weeks of them being apart and then the engagement last week. It was just so super exciting to see them getting to be a couple and for a moment forgetting about all the troubles and all the evilness and the Black Fairy and Gideon. Just none of that was a concern to them right here in this moment because they were with each other and they were happy.
I know, I liked it, especially after like what we just saw, people like jumping realms and like we're finally all back together, especially, you know, being under sleeping curses. Like people were just separated and we finally got everyone back together happy in one place. And that's rare.
That's
Yeah.
very rare.
for story
Very
for
rare.
this show. Very rare. So they were taking a moment to enjoy it. I don't blame them.
I don't blame them either. I love how like it was very nicely lit because we're all used to like these dark, you know, foresty things. They were in this nice like kitchen and it was like very light out and they were just having so much fun. It was early morning and it just seemed so intimate and like I was waiting for that moment because it's always at night or like things are happening or they're battling people and it was like this beautiful light moment where they were in the kitchen about to make babies.
Light moment with light magic and and good people
and pancake batter.
and the white knight. It's just in pancake batter. I
Yep.
mean, who has? Never mind. TMI. So all of this, of course, Snow comes over and interrupts them making pancakes to go over wedding planning details, which she is mom bridezilla. What's the equivalent of that? Because she's got a like 4-inch 3-wing binder full of wedding planning and stuff,
know.
like different dresses and flowers and centerpieces and all that stuff. I love that Snow is so into this.
I loved it, and it was fun that like you know, to have Snow back and she's really perky and happy and whatnot. But I felt like she was maybe overcompensating because she didn't get the best life with Emma, and like the one thing you can do as a mother, like the best thing I think she feels like she can do to make up for that is to plan her daughter's wedding.
So I get it. It's
So
like
I
a
feel
sweet...
it's overcompensation
Yeah.
for Snow.
Yeah.
I think it's really sweet and everything, but it's almost like, yeah, you're doing it for your daughter, but you're also kind of doing it for yourself too because your wedding kept getting interrupted, type of a thing. Like, or you know what I'm saying? Like
she's making sure it's the best. Perfect
she wants
wedding.
it to be the perfect thing, and she wants to be around for it. So it's like, okay, I get you're trying to do this for your daughter, but you're also at the end of the day doing it for yourself a little bit. There are a little bit of selfish motives there.
I definitely think that every parent has a little bit of selfish motives when it comes to weddings, just because it's something that, you know, she didn't get to watch Emma grow up, so of course she wants to be involved in the wedding day and making sure that that is everything Emma has ever wanted. And surprisingly, Snow's not the one being difficult about planning this wedding. Snow is down to have it at Granny's. It's David who is actually putting the X on everything, and you know, just being like refusing to think that anything is good enough.
Can you
for
imagine
his
like
daughter.
having a wedding at Granny's and like, okay, here's where all, you know, there's like the little tiny crowded place and everyone's in their little booth and like Granny's, you know, serving pancakes.
But you know, I do got to give it to David though, because he was making good suggestions. Like, you know what, Emma is actually better than this. We love Granny's and we go there every single week, but you know, just step it up just a little bit. Have higher standards to have a great wedding. So granted, the way he wasn't saying it, you know, wasn't the greatest,
Wasn't the
most
greatest.
ideal, nicest way.
Yeah.
Here
But-
it is. So OutLover15 had tweeted me and asked, where do you think would be a good location for the Captain Swan wedding? And this was a day ago. And I literally responded, Granny's, duh. Because as I was thinking about the town, I was thinking, we have never seen a location of a church or something like that that would be a wedding, typical wedding environment. I was like, Granny's is the social place of the
That's true.
of the town, unless you're gonna do it in the middle of the street where every battle happens. Granny's was in my head the only option. So when Snow showed up there and was thinking, oh yeah, we can clear the tables and everything will be great, I was like, yeah, duh, that's where they're gonna get married.
It's so small though.
Yeah, but
that also-
the town also only half shows up sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it really depends on like how big the wedding is going to be. Is it just going to be small and intimate with our immediate family, or is it going to be open to the whole kingdom more so of Storybrooke?
I think it'll be open to the whole kingdom, especially because I was really mad that we got these little teaser photos and stuff for like the musical episode and the wedding and everything. But it looks like from those photos, it looks like it might be in a bigger space. Don't you think?
Maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
all the photos that I saw, not to be like spoiled or anything, but like they were all kind of close ups. You couldn't really tell the environment.
Okay.
Yeah, but
seemed like a big
I mean,
group.
I did like David's idea of, hey, how many magical beans do we need to get everyone to the Enchanted Forest?
That was
Because,
great.
you know, you are dealing with a royal wedding, which I don't even think Emma really is thinking of it on that scale,
No.
but it is true.
That's true.
I mean, I forget that sometimes because Emma's just so down to earth and not princessy, and it's
That's
not really
so
a
true.
kingdom
I
that
never
she
even
rules over or
I've-
anything.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be a smaller and more intimate wedding.
I don't think I've once ever thought of her as a princess. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
Aw,
but
that's sad.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean? Oh, except for that one episode where she like went
She
back
was-
and like, you know, she was
her
like,
memory was
like,
gone
yeah.
and she was
Yeah.
princess.
That's the only time.
I can understand that because they don't bring it up as often.
No, yeah, they don't.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
because,
you know, we always see her in Storybrooke as a regular human being fighting the good fight.
Yes.
like, in a royalty setting.
exactly. And David also brings up the point when Snow finally confronts him about everything that he's, you know, basically blocking all of their wedding plans. And he brings up a good point of, why are we rushing this? Why should Emma have to sacrifice her wedding day, possibly being ruined by the Black Fairy, just like theirs was ruined by the Evil Queen?
Right.
You know, he doesn't want that life for her. My thought for this whole thing was, why are we rushing a wedding? Or even just picking out venues. Every wedding I've been to has taken a year to plan. So the fact that they can get this together in 3 weeks,
Very
actually
impressive.
Yeah,
impressive.
pretty
But
good. But that also, you know, to go to your point, Dakota, you know, that showed Snow White's selfishness because she did say the line, but what if we're not around to
Right.
see it?
Exactly.
So she's doing it as fast as possible, so they're while they're
While they're
alive,
alive.
while they're there.
Which
While
I-
there's like insurance. that
also,
they're
like, while they're alive, it's the book is ending, guys. They don't
Yeah.
know what happens after
Right.
the end.
But at the same time, she's like, well, we're doing it right now when everything's happening because we're trying to like generate hope. And it's like, okay, are you trying to do that for everyone else? Or are you trying to just keep yourself busy so you're not worried? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I love Snow and she always usually has everyone else's intentions, but like best intentions. But I feel like this time she's kind of like the one orchestrating it all, and it's kind of her.
It's just the
her
one
thing.
chance that the one opportunity they have as a family to put themselves first, to actually be selfish, because they are very unselfish and very giving family. They've sacrificed a lot for the people, as we saw last week with the whole, they could have gone to Emma when she was a kid, when they came out of the curse for that moment. Everything they do is for everyone else, and sometimes even in that moment they never gave Emma the chance to make that decision. So right now it is kind of fair to give Emma the chance to decide how she wants to.
You know what's funny? People in the live chat are saying, like, once Emma and Hook get married, that Hook will actually become a legit prince.
Ooh.
Hashtag Prince Pirate.
Oh.
Pirate Prince.
Pirate
Whatever
Prince.
way you want to look at
I
it.
mean, I love it either way, because I love him.
I like it too.
That'd be
I
cool.
think it has a good ring to it.
Yeah, it does. We also had, I love the moment with Henry and his grandpa. I mean, it's kind of sad what's going on with Henry with the whole, thing with the sorcerer's pen. For those who are listening, I was scribbling with my finger. I couldn't think of the word. The author's pen. And he's trying to interpret what's going on, and it goes back to to Snow's point too, that David tells Henry, sometimes you just got to step away. We got to move forward. We have to live our lives to kind of, you can't live your life in fear of what's to come, basically. But Henry's trying to change the ending of the book, that Emma wins the final battle.
I know, and it's
not
not
it
working.
Keeps going away.
So it's like, what is the point of being an author if you can't even write the story? You know what I'm saying? I was super upset. But you think that Henry would learn by now? I know he wants to help everyone, but after everything happened last time, or like last week with the other author that was involved, this is not okay. He's becoming in like this trance, and he starts like doing these weird symbols and stuff. Like, he needs to realize, you got to take a back seat with this. You can't hurt yourself, because then there's going to be another problem added on top of the Black Fairy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I gotta give him credit. I mean,
He's trying.
even us audience, we're like, what the heck is happening with him and his author powers? And he's just trying to find answers. So, like, I gotta give him that. But the fact that we still don't know what's happening, could it be like some outside force that's blocking this magic, or the fact that it is evolving and you just can't control it? Is it good? Is it bad? We don't know, and we still don't have the answer to the hieroglyphics that he drew with his regular pen.
Yeah,
so
which I'm glad you said, you're happy that he's trying to figure out, because I am too, because it seems like no one else remembered that happened except for Henry. And so Henry's like, well, you guys, hey, I'm glad that Hook's back, and Grandma, I'm glad you're both awake, but I still have a problem with myself going on here right now. That's not the final battle or anything.
I feel like they've kind of given Henry a back seat, and they're not really like paying attention to him, and it's kind of crazy, because he's going to end up hurting himself because no one's paying attention, and they're all worried about the final battle, which I get, but at the same time you still have to cater to the minor that's in your hands, who is always home alone, and the Black Fairy could easily access.
This is true.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel you, Dakota.
You feel me?
I feel you.
That's my little brother.
That is your little brother. Maybe you should be over there.
I
protecting
should.
him. Maybe you should start babysitting him or something.
That's true.
Be a big brother, dog.
Come on, Dakota.
I know.
Gosh, Dakota.
I know.
Leaving him all alone.
And then we also had the no, not the Blue Fairy. We're not talking about her yet. We're going to talk about Rumple and Belle, because, Rumble. So Rumple has the Blue Fairy, and she's in her little coma still, and has no magic.
Like, he's been holding her kind of hostage,
What I
kind of not.
forgot about was that no one else knew that she has been his prisoner this whole time. I mean, Regina mentions that she called her today to try and get answers, but it's like
Multiple times.
no one put out a missing persons report about the poor lady.
They just got so much going on.
they got
No.
going on. No one knew that she was back. No one cares.
Nope.
But Gold is now trying to find a way to bring her back, because he realizes that in taking away his magic, she has been alive longer than Rumple himself, which means that she knows the way, or has the key to defeating the Black Fairy.
I know.
I mean, Blue Fairy, Black Fairy, I'd love to see what happened there.
I know.
Good wins. I mean, that was an interesting factoid to learn about, but I was just kind of thinking, because she's been around longer than Black Fairy, does that essentially make her a little bit more powerful? Have like a one-up against Black Fairy, that she could be like one of the only few people that could defeat her?
I definitely think so.
Unless it's just like just the Savior could defeat her. Who knows?
Well, I think whatever information the Blue Fairy holds about the Black Fairy and how she left Rumple, that right there is obviously a weapon in the Blue Fairy's, like, what is it called? In her favor, because obviously that's freaking Black Fairy out. She's like, I don't want anyone to find out, and it's gonna, obviously she has some kind of a power over her, over just knowing what happened. So I think, you know, Blue Fairy may not be able to defeat her, but whatever she has, like, knowledge-wise, is gonna change something.
Yeah, clearly there's...
Give them a one-up at least.
Yeah, give them
definitely.
a one-up, because we need to know what happened before the Black Fairy even became the Black Fairy, and there's just so many questions about the Black Fairy that we don't have answers to, and knowing that Blue has been around long enough to know, you know, some things could actually definitely help us in the big battle of
The
good
big
and
Final
evil.
battle.
The final battle.
The final battle.
Oh, that was actually pretty good, Dakota.
Thank you.
Yeah, congrats. You might have a
Career in voiceover.
career.
Let's do it.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say voiceover. It's just like that one
Just that
specific
one thing.
like thing.
I can make some money.
You be
off
the
of
voice
it.
of AFTERBUZZ, maybe.
There we
but,
go.
Like,
I don't want to step on Sir Richard Wentworth's toes,
I mean,
though.
you don't want to.
No, you don't.
I've
No.
met him. You don't want to do that.
I know
He's like
him.
this
He's
mysterious being. Like, I don't know him, and he's always here. You know, always in our ears.
Yeah.
I'd like to meet him. Anyway,
He's great.
is
You
he?
can't take his job.
I don't want his job. He does it so great.
We digress.
Yes, we do. Let's talk a little bit about young Zelina and this flashbacks that we're seeing. Okay, so full disclosure, the previews all said someone's gonna make the ultimate sacrifice, which in my head meant someone was gonna die.
They always do this to us.
So I was like, oh yeah, before we started watching the episode, I go to Dakota and Marissa, I'm like, oh yeah, guys, I think someone dies tonight. Oh my gosh, I really think it's gonna be Zelina too.
And I
then
was so excited. I was like, oh man, I hope it is.
and then about 10 minutes into the episode, when it was super Zelina heavy on her trying to prove her point and her worth, I was like, clearly she's not going to die.
Yeah.
But she's the one who sacrifices something. So then I
Yeah.
started getting worried about poor baby Robin and just
Ooh, that
all
would
the
be
all the
awful.
bad things. I mean, ultimate sacrifice. Like,
That's true.
That's
I
very
just,
vague.
I just love
Yeah.
that for once, like, your prediction fell through, and, like, you know, you always make fun of me, and, like, I just
wait,
really
wait,
like
wait.
you looking bad right now.
But Dakota, like at the end of the episode, who was the one like, oh, Zelina's gonna die?
And
That
then-
was you stealing
no.
my prediction from earlier
No, that
and
wasn't.
being like, oh yeah,
Okay.
Tiana, you're right, she's gonna die.
I was reaffirming you, and then I took it back
And
later.
then-
I was like, I don't know what you were thinking.
Yeah, you're a bandwagon jumper.
You see,
I know.
Dakota, when you point a finger, 3 fingers point back at you. Just saying.
That's
Well,
true.
I got 3 at you. So it was really nice to see Zelina as a young girl, and she meets Stanham, who
I like Stanham.
Stanham was so nice.
It's like he could have been a really great friend to Zelina had she not been a bitter biatch.
I was like, where are you
And
going
it
with this?
reminded me of, you know, the origin stories for Wicked, you know,
Yeah.
because the Wicked Witch, she was actually really good friends with
like,
with
lovers.
Fiyero, and even though he was Scarecrow, not the Tin Man, it's still in my head. I was like, oh, yay, Wicked references, yay.
I totally thought.
But you know, that didn't work out so well. She did save the bird's egg from the nest when those boys basically shot it down from the tree. But then, you know, a couple years later, Stanham hadn't been around for a minute, and she turns into the Wicked Witch, and he had chopped down a tree, and then the Wicked Witch of the North cursed him into becoming the Tin Man. Is that what happened there? I got that
Yeah,
right.
it was
right?
the Wicked Witch of the North,
Okay.
which, you know, again, that's a turn on the actual canon.
Yes.
So.
So, you know, it's her who turned him into this, and he needs this Crimson Heart. So he comes to Zelina for help, and he's like, hey, old friend, help me out. And she's like, nah, I got better things to do, like eat this whole ham by myself.
I know.
Which, I mean, hey,
I
you
was
put a
gonna
ham,
say.
a honey-baked ham in front of me, I'm going to go to town on it, you know? I feel you, Zelina.
Yep.
Don't interrupt my mealtime. But ultimately, he talks her into helping him, because there is this beast that guards the Crimson Heart, which come to find out is a literal lion.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally, there's a lion there.
I know. I was like thinking,
Literally.
okay, was it the lion, the one that isn't supposed to be courageous? You know what I'm saying? Like, is he gonna get brought down later? Like, do you think it was that lion that's in the Oz?
I think it was
before
definitely
his courage.
an ode to it because, you know, when we saw at the end when she defeated him, she called him a coward.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay,
it essentially did become the Cowardly Lion.
Okay, that makes sense.
Essentially, yes.
At first, I was like, the lion, the witch, and the wardrobe. And I was like, wait, what am I
In the
talking
wrong
about?
story.
Like,
I know.
no. But
What can I
again,
say?
This is
in
Narnia.
Wicked, it's the Wicked Witch in school who like saves a lion in a classroom, and then later on, that's how he became the Cowardly Lion because he never learned to stand up to him for himself.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, okay, I like what they did here a little bit. Change that story too. But after the lion attacks, they do find the Crimson Heart, and it turns out that the heart needs magic. And was it specifically her magic, or just like anyone who had picked that up with magic, it would have sucked it out of them?
Yeah, I think it was very broad. I think they just said magic because she said the line, it needs magic, and because she is the closest person in the vicinity that has magic, it would of course drain her magic compared to anyone else's in the kingdom. She's just the closest one to the heart. But that made her bitter because especially the line that she says, you think I'm gonna give up my magic to save you? I'm like, oh, that's cold. Like, cold-hearted.
Like,
I was like, what a biatch.
but in her defense, she's met this guy twice.
Yeah,
And she's supposed to give up everything that she is to save him.
I know. I was like, that's very ambitious.
But clearly a true hero, Snow White, definitely would have been like, of course, here we go. I'm saving you. I don't even know you do.
Selfless.
But, you know, people in general, like, I'm going to be honest. I'm not sure I would have given up magical powers for someone I don't know.
I mean,
I hope I would make the right decision, but I also can't say that I wouldn't make the wrong one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, and I get that. I think if all of us were in that position, we might be, of course, hesitant about it. It was the way she went about it, the way she handled it, the way she said the line to him, being like, I'm not gonna give up my magic to save you. It was just a very cold-hearted way she said it. Had she had a little bit more tact and more bedside manners, like we would have if we were in that situation, then be like, okay, yeah, I completely understand. We've only met twice. It's fine. I get it.
Like, I understand, you know?
But the way she said it was like, yeah, no.
Yeah. I was like, wow.
It's kind of like, hey, I need a kidney. And I know there are anonymous donors, but it's also like, hey, I need a kidney. Give me yours. Whoa, dude, you're not going to give me a second to think about this?
Right.
Like, I need to process time and all that. So I like what you said. Her bedside manner was just not the right way of addressing
Because
it.
basically,
No tact.
they like a long time ago, we had the whole situation with the egg or whatever, and because of that, and like he saved her, they decided to, okay, well, I'm turning into a Tin Man, can you please just give me the Crimson Heart? Like, that's a lot to ask.
Yeah.
Too much to ask. So
It's a lot.
I get he was desperate. He's like, well, I don't really have much options
Yeah,
here. But at the same time, you're asking for something very powerful that could be used for something maybe of more importance. Not saying his life is worthless, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a lot to ask. So I understand why she said was wanting to not do it at first. You know, what can you do?
Then it's also, you know, just like I said, any of our heroes would have done it in a heartbeat. So, definitely it would have been.
But Selena's
A-okay.
not necessarily a hero.
Yeah, Selena's just, and it hurts my heart when she's like, oh, don't let me sit at the heroes table, whatever. You know, it's like she does keep trying to do things to make people understand that she is a good person.
Yeah.
You know, that her.
It's so hard to believe that after time and time and
I
time
know. I
Yeah.
know. It's almost
She's
like as
green with
repetitive.
envy.
I know. It's almost like as repetitive as this whole rum bell thing. Like,
Yes.
we keep
Yes.
getting it. Keeps getting thrown in our face. Oh, she's good. Oh, she's bad. Oh, she's helping someone sketchy. Okay, now she stands up for the good. Now she's jealous again. Now she's trying to prove herself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
I mean, but you know, at least these days she's not looking so green. Her skin's looking very nice.
She's got a nice complexion.
Yeah, she's got a very nice complexion.
I do
So-
like
She
her.
does.
I do really like her character, though. I really do.
So
Thank you, Glow.
all right, now we're gonna get into the part of the episode where Marissa is gonna get kind of angry,
Oh,
and I'm just
Uh-oh.
warning
I'm sorry, guys.
listeners
I was
and
like-
viewers now
I was holding it in.
at what's to come, so that they're prepared. We're gonna talk about Zelena and what she did at Storybrooke, aka going after the Black Fairy by herself. So the Black Fairy comes to her and, you know, threatens her child and says, you know, come to my side. You need some friends, my pretty. She didn't say it like that.
That was good.
But, you know, she's like, you need friends. I'll be a friend. You're out here all by yourself. Come to my side. Welcome to the dark side. And Selena was like, nah, leave me alone. And then she goes, and I'm like, okay, because Zelina actually goes to the team and tells them what's going on. Yes, this is a new Zelina. She's finally doing the right thing. And then she's like, nah, hold up. I only came here so y'all could watch my baby. I'm about to go kill this witch. Y'all watch Robin. I just didn't do it because Robin was in the room already. And someone hold the baby. I'm going to go kill her. And as everyone would normally do, they're like, hey, we're a team. Let's not go after her by ourselves. Also, my one thing that I wrote down in my notes, what does she not understand? That the final battle, the battle that will kill the Black Fairy or not, but it has to be Emma. It has to be Emma. It is predicted. It is premonitioned. It is everything. It is Emma. It never says Zelina goes into the final battle with the Black Fairy.
Yeah.
No. It says Emma goes to the... Sorry, I guess I'm the angry one right now.
You're angry.
I was like, take it away, girl.
Like, that was the only part that made me angry, was that she thought she could do something that clearly it's not even her fight to be in.
I know. I'm so glad.
So I will let Marissa take it from
Well,
here.
I'll try to hold it together, you guys. Okay, so what have she not learned out of all these seasons that she's unfortunately been on the show now? But that they work as a family, they work as a team. You don't go in headstrong by yourself. And the fact that her self-ego and her insecurity, and that the fact that she always has to convince herself she's better and stronger than Regina, she always has to prove herself. I'm like, nah, girl, you don't have to prove yourself anymore because we know you're annoying. It's like, we already know this. But like, the fact she doesn't go in with a clear conscience and a clear mind and a clear plan of what she's doing, and she has this, she's so gung-ho that she's going to defeat her. It's like, no, you know this plan is gonna backfire like nobody's business.
That's why I started to think she was maybe gonna die, and I was I won't say very. I was kind of sad that at the thought that she would die this way.
Yeah.
You know, and leaving behind a daughter and just like that. But like Marissa said, they're a family and a unit, and I know that it's hard for Zelina to trust them because they blame her for a lot of things. And things that even when she tries to do good, sometimes things just go the wrong way. And this is a prime example of her thinking that she's doing something to help by going down there. She's like, I'm stronger than all of you. I can go down there and I can defeat her. Mm-hmm. And it backfired.
It definitely backfired.
If she wants to know why she's not invited to the heroes table, this is why. That's because she doesn't work well with others. Yeah. She's a solo tennis player, and we need her to be in at least a doubles match.
It's almost like it's one of those boy bands, you know, that one kind of strays and tries to do that solo career, and sometimes it doesn't work out. It's almost
are you
like
talking about Lance? Bless his heart. Didn't work out for him, but he's great. He's a host so now. Nice. He's doing great things.
He's so nice.
There we go. But what, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, obviously she's not supposed to make this battle, but I thought that, okay, she actually does pretty well for her. She's able to kind of throw her back, and I was like, oh, well, maybe she is pretty strong. But then once it all backfires and then like all the crystals turn, I was thinking, wow, this is how she's gonna die. So that she's gonna make it worse for everyone. Then she's gonna die, and everyone's gonna know her as the person who screwed everything up before she died.
Yeah.
So I was thinking it was gonna leave her in give her a worse name than she has already.
I think it was just really annoying that we had to see this argument between sisters, quote unquote, with Regina and Zelina still circling around this vicious cycle where they're always blaming each other and who's better and like, you did this, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh my God, we get it.
They're keeping score.
Like,
and it's
over and over again. And like the one that Zelina was like, I sacrificed Hades. I was like, no, you didn't, girl. You didn't sacrifice Hades, the love of your life. Come on, get real. We were all there.
We were all there.
I'm still bitter over the loss of Robin. I'm more of upset at that.
I mean, she did, you know, she did
kill him, but it wasn't
sacrifice
out of the good
herself for
an intention,
you know,
for
her
Regina.
love. She did give away her love, and honestly was never given like a thank you for anything, because it ultimately resulted in Robin's death, and that's what people are harping on. So I do understand that, you know, even when she tries to do something good, and she does do something good, it gets outshined by something that happens in reaction to that. it's never her direct fault. It's not her direct fault that Robin died, but due to a series of choices and events, he died, and she's the one who gets blamed for it.
But you know what's interesting? In this so-called argument, she's the one that brought it up. Zelina is the one that brought it up. It was like, oh, you still blame me for this and stuff. Like, she's the one that had to take it back to old past discretions on her. So I'm like, oh, can we move past this?
One thing I want to read from Angela Gonzalez says, I love Regina, but she is so mean to Zelina. I know what she did was bad, but I think she just wanted to help someone.
I agree, and I think that what Regina said to Zelina at the end of it, where she said, "Why don't you just go back to Oz where you can't make anything worse?" That was hard to hear, and that hurt my heart, because no matter how mad I am at one of my siblings, if I even thought about the fact of them leaving me or banishing them to another world or something, or that's ultimately saying, like, I don't want to have a relationship with you. You might as well be dead, and I wouldn't care. That hurt my heart as someone who loves their sibling with all their heart.
So Zelina, it does have problems and always makes things hard for everyone, but I think it's because Regina doesn't give her that attention and love that she wants and deserves.
Yeah, and every time Regina says, I'm gonna be a better sister,
she doesn't.
We don't see Zelina for 5 weeks, and it's like, oh, she's been up in that farmhouse by herself with just her and a baby, probably going crazy.
Right. I like Angela. I think you had a good point for sure.
Yeah, and the Sailor Guy says, Mercer, you seem to forget all the bad things, Regina. I'm not saying that at all. But every time Regina has made a mistake, she's gone back and fixed it and actually helped herself. She sacrificed her time over and over and over again in the seasons, to the point where the whole family has now gained Regina's respect and whatnot. Zelina, again, this is the difference between Regina and Zelina. Zelina makes the same mistakes over and over again, but she blames other people for her mistakes, not herself. And, like, I will give it to Zelina in this episode. She realized she did something wrong. She realized she gave Black Fairy a one-up, and she actually did something about it. So I will give it to Zelina. Granted, I'm still pissed at her. But the fact that Zelina actually did something and went about and fixed her mistake, I'll give her that. Again, she does have moments where she can redeem herself. But if we keep going back to this vicious cycle of blaming each other and going back to that self-insecurity and self-doubt of herself, it's like, I'm over it, move on, go back to Oz.
Oh my.
Wow.
So you would banish her to Oz if you had the chance.
I would.
But here's the problem with that, of this whole vicious cycle that you're talking of. Regina's part of it. Regina also treats Zelina in ways and doesn't let her forget. And I know tonight it was Zelina who brought up Robin, but Regina has brought that up a lot too. So yes, it's a vicious cycle, but it's something that they're both stuck in, and they both need to figure out a way to move on, and maybe they should both go to Oz and figure it out.
Yep, it's a two-sided road.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
It's a hard one. Yeah, I definitely agree. It's one of those things you just have to, like, be able to work it out. It's never just one person. Sure, one person may be contributing most of the problems, but it's always because of X, Y, and Z that is why that person is having those problems. Yeah, definitely.
And I will say that, you know, Zelina does, you know, she gets the green tornado, and I was like, oh my gosh, is she really leaving and not saying bye to anyone? I was like, is this the last we're gonna see of Zelina? And I got sad for a second. I was like, oh my gosh, are they just gonna have her literally, like, float off of the show and never come back?
No, I knew she didn't leave, because we didn't physically see her get into their tornado to leave. I was like, she didn't leave.
Like, shit.
Yeah, when we didn't see that is when I knew she didn't leave. But she did bring the Crimson Heart, and she does this time what she wasn't able to do for, what was his name? Stanum? Stannis? Stanum. Yes, Stanum. Sorry, I'm saying that to remember it. What she wasn't able to do for him, she is able to do for these people. Now, the question, because we talked about it earlier, she didn't really know Stanum. She knows these people, she knows this town, and she's willing to sacrifice and help make this right now.
Yeah.
So, is it the goodness of her heart, or is it that, like, what's the difference between the two when she wasn't able to do it for him, but she's able to do it for them? Is it because she actually knows them and has a relationship?
That, but also Zelina did say the line, there's nothing left for her in Oz. There's no one in Oz that would actually care for her, that she doesn't have to keep, like, proving herself to be on top of everybody and to be superior. In Storybrooke, she does actually... Bless you.
Sorry.
She does actually have a potential support, a foundation, like a support system for her. And I think that's also the difference. Because that's what I said when I was backing up Regina. Like, she's always had people who could, like, fight for her and believe in her. And if the same support system can support Regina, can also support Zelina. I'm not saying that we can't. Like, there is hope for Zelina. I know I brag on Zelina all the time. But the thing is, there could be the exact same support system for Zelina. Okay.
You know what I'm excited to see for Zelina for a little bit right now?
What's that?
How she adjusts to Muggle life.
Yeah.
Oh,
You see what I did there? You see how I brought in Harry Potter?
Very nice.
Oh yeah. You know, she's not gonna have magic anymore, so she can't just drop her baby off with Belle and be like, "Hey, poof, I'm gone."
I think that's really, because that's always been like the crutch for her. Like, oh, I
Her
have all this
magic.
magic. So, but I think once she doesn't have magic anymore, she's gonna settle down and realize I ain't, you know what, and decide to join the pack and be nice to everyone
think
because
she'll
she
do
needs
the
to
same
fit.
Yeah, she will truly discover who she is as a person without her magic.
Yeah,
Because
and I think she's gonna cower and go to the family. Oh, now that I don't have any powers and I'm not cool anymore, I'm gonna go to you guys and hope that you accept me. So it's gonna be kind of like, really now? But then I'm like, okay, cool. If you want to go on the good side, do it with a pure heart, good intentions, and then maybe we all will be okay with it.
Regina did that. There have been episodes where Regina was consciously trying to use light magic instead of dark. There is that struggle. It's a long road for Zelina, but I'm saying if Regina got there, so can Zelina.
Yeah.
I think we need to do it ASAP though, because I don't know how many seasons are left, and I'm ready to see some progress with Selena.
Well,
You know?
yeah, exactly. Well, you know, they are able to use the fairy crystals for good use now that they are back to being good fairy crystals and not dark ones. They go, because Zelina also, she's just full of confessions right now. They're talking about how they can't find Blue, and you know, she probably has the other part of the wand that they need. And Zelina, who earlier in the episode had told Belle, "My lips are sealed, I won't tell anyone that she's back here," was like, "Oh, y'all looking for her? She over at Gold Shop.
I know.
He got her in the back. She's asleep.
he got her in the bag.
He got her in the bag. She back there sleeping right now.
I know.
Don't worry about it."
Oh, that was so
So-
great. That's so Zelina though. I won't tell a soul. Oh, there she is. And I'm like, okay,
But
here we
you
go
know,
again.
that's her being part of the team now. So I'm like,
No.
see, this is the information that you share with
Yeah.
others.
Yeah,
Because
not keep it to yourself
exactly.
to give you a one-up on other
Yes.
people.
So we're already seeing changes in her, is what
Hopefully.
I'm saying.
We just know not to like tell her any secrets
Yeah.
because it's not going to be kept.
Yes. But then we get to Gold Shop, and it's funny how this whole episode was about Zelina's struggle with having to prove that she could do anything and she didn't need them. She's a one-man show. She can do it all. And then you have Gold, who has been trying to figure out a way to wake up the Blue Fairy and has been failing. And who at first is very hesitant to even let them try. He's like, "Well, no, I didn't find a way, but I will." And it's that same mentality that they have, and that's the evil mentality of, I can do this on my own. I don't need other people to help me.
Definitely.
And it takes Belle being like, "Well, I mean, they're here and we need her awake,
Yeah.
so why don't we let them give it the old college try?" And they
Let's
use the
just-
crystal, and all of a sudden there's a heartbeat again. So she's not awake yet, but she's getting
in the
there.
but the heart is beating.
The heart is beating, and I hope that
Now
because
she's just sleeping.
and hopefully because they used fairy crystals, she will wake up with fairy magic, since she was stripped of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I
So-
don't know, but I do know the Black Fairy's stressing about it.
Yeah, because as we found out, what Blue knows is why the Black Fairy gave up Rumple in the first place, which is her darkest secret.
Oh my god.
Which leads us right into predictions.
And now,
Dakota,
your
that face.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
It's not the cutest face I've seen of yours.
All right, well, I've got a lot of faces. So.
You can try a new one.
I'll try a new one on.
So we see in the preview for next week, even though I understand why, but during the episode there was a promo for in 2 weeks, which is the musical episode and the wedding. So next week's episode being like, ooh, what's gonna happen? The final battle begins. Well, I know that Emma and Hook are at least
They're gonna be
alive because they're
fine.
getting married in 2 weeks. So
It was-
ABC publicity,
Right.
WTF.
Unless this
yeah,
is the
it
biggest.
was odd
like,
placing of promos.
But they've been doing a lot. There's been articles released about this musical and wedding episode. All the pictures of the dress and everything are coming out about it. And I'm like, I get it. I know that we have a wedding coming, but also play a little into the audience. Like, if it's not next week's episode, why am I hearing about it? I need to know what's happening in the story next week, because now all I'm thinking is, well, who do I know is going to survive next week's episode?
Unless they literally took these photos just to throw everyone off, which they would not do that.
No.
But, like, can you imagine? That'd be the best stage thing to ever. Like, we took some photos with him in this, we released it, but really Hook's gonna die next week. But we're just doing this to make everyone.
We just wanted everyone to be like, ooh.
The wedding is actually a flashback that we did a year ago, and you guys didn't.
Well,
know.
it is a wedding musical, so I do think that the wedding, as much as I pray and hope that it is the official thing, part of me thinks within a musical episode it could be sort of daydreamy, or someone's under a curse or something, and like imagining this gorgeous, great, grand wedding.
I don't think they're going to give it to us.
How cheap would that be? That'd be.
But they
such
have
a
to
cheap
give it
shot.
to us just because the fate of the show is still up in the air. I feel like they have to give us the wedding.
I feel like
just in case.
But not in fantasy.
But I don't want it in like a fantasy world. But I just.
They do that to us so often, though, that I'm like, is this really going to be the one? Because, like, it's almost a little suspicious that they're throwing all this information out there. Like, oh, we're having the wedding. Oh, and they're getting us all excited. It's almost like, okay, what's the catch?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to take it away from us or do something sketchy.
Yeah, and we know that no wedding that has ever happened on this show has gone without a hitch.
Yeah.
You know, the last wedding we saw, correct me if I'm wrong, the big curse got cast, like, shortly afterwards. And that was Snow and Charming's wedding.
Yeah. And then even in the dream world, you know, Emma's there was something there. Oh no, that was her christening or something.
Yeah, that was like her. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, but like any big event outing that requires the family, something happens.
As excited as I am about this wedding, and everyone knows that I am Hooker for life, Captain Swan, like I am ride or die with these people. It's hard for me to get super excited about this wedding because all I think of is the Game of Thrones. I'm like, it's the Red Wedding. What's going to go wrong here? And that's what I'm thinking of instead of living in the moment and being like, oh my God, it's going to be so beautiful.
I know. I don't have that expectation.
I won't sleep well for the next 2 weeks because I just need to know what happens at this wedding.
I honestly think it's not going to be everything we expected, and that something's going to happen, whether it be, you know, the final battle ends up occurring during the wedding. I know it's supposed to be next week, but I could see something crazy like that happening, and then Emma's got to fight and then be like, all right, I'm ready to kiss you. Like, let's get married again. You know what I'm saying? Something's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be as what we expected because, you know, the whole teased engagement and then, you know, that whole thing was ruined the first time. I feel like this is kind of a wedding. It might get ruined, and then they might come back later. And what if it was like this cute little thing where they're by a pond or something, and they exchange vows by themselves with no one around, and it's like this sweet, intimate moment. Maybe they're just going to realize, you know what, we're not going to create this big thing over it. We're just going to get
I mean, that's what happened in How I Met Mother. Sorry, guys.
Spoiler.
I could definitely see it happening. I am skeptical as heck.
Yeah, I mean, it's because we know it's to be expected. Craziness is about to happen, but it's still going to be fun while we watch it.
Oh, yeah.
I can't really predict anything because everyone is just expecting this musical right now.
Okay, so here's the one question I will present to the panel for our predictions then.
Okay.
What do you think is the reason why Blue gave up, or not Blue, why the Dark Fairy gave up Rumple?
Honestly, I don't even know.
Just say something like crazy.
I know they
didn't. I know like no one else has given a prediction, so you can't like steal their prediction like you usually do.
Stop.
So what if Black Fairy really isn't the biological mother to Rumple?
But then why does she have to hide it? Why is it like this big deal?
Maybe she's just ashamed.
Or maybe what if the Blue Fairy is actually Rumple's mother?
Ooh.
Because she's like, she knows something and why I gave him up. Maybe it's because the Blue Fairy is actually Rumple's mom.
Oh my gosh, that's an original prediction,
Thank
Dakota.
You.
Good job.
Thank you.
So my prediction is, what if the Black Fairy is not actually Rumple's mother and it's actually the Blue Fairy?
Wait a minute. This isn't good. This is not fun.
You see what I did there?
I see what you did.
You see. Okay, my prediction is going to be what craziness could happen. That the Black Fairy gave up Rumple because his father was actually trying to kill him. Ooh. And so she was trying to save Rumple from being dark and evil like his father.
But then she turns up evil, so then
maybe she took the evilness out of him and put it in herself to save her son. But then that didn't work.
No, kind of backfired there.
Interesting. I'm having
just
like
saying
a
things,
side,
Marissa.
I'm having a side tangent type
With
of
yourself.
prediction. We know the cave where Zelina and Regina went down. We know the crystals got reverted back to their original self, and they are now blue crystals again. What if someone goes back down there, gain some more crystals, actually use that to wake up Blue Fairy? Like, actually get enough crystals to restore her.
To restore her.
Because now she's awake, and they only used a normalized white crystal. If you actually got the Blue Fairy type of crystals, you could wake her up.
Okay. I like that.
And then that can just help move the plot along.
Yes, because we're at episode 18, and we gotta start wrapping some things up. We gotta get to it. You know. You know what I'm saying?
Angela
Yeah,
says,
exactly.
"Someday my Prince Jones will come." Thanks, girl.
We didn't do Once Upon a Weave.
Oh yes, we have to do our Once Upon a Weave for the evening.
You know
Yes.
what? Who did you think?
I can't take credit for this because people are making me laugh hysterically. Platypus Bone says I liked Emma's sex hair more than her ponytail.
Oh, her pancake hair.
Yeah.
Yes.
Emma's sex hair was the
Emma's
best hair. in
sex
this
hair
whole-
wins Once Upon a Weave.
Yes, it does.
Because we've never seen anything like it before.
And people are hashtag Emma sex hair.
Emma's sex hair.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, you
You
guys.
are hilarious.
You know, guys, they didn't even get to do anything.
Well, that's because
They did
Snow
something.
cock blocked.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
can I say that?
holy cock
Sorry.
Oh,
I don't know. That's, sorry.
Family
things,
show.
things are heating up in here, so maybe we should all go home and take a cold shower.
Oh my gosh.
to relieve the tension a bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Thank you guys so much for
Nasty.
watching our after show and hanging out with us. Make sure you guys tweet us, comment on YouTube, comment on iTunes, like us, give us 5 stars. Let us know what you guys think is going to happen. Are Emma and Hook actually getting married in the musical wedding episode, or will something happen and they won't make it to the altar? I don't know. But
I
in the
don't know.
meantime, make sure you guys tweet us and let us know where can they find you guys.
You guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Mr. Dakota T. Jones, and my new talk show on Popcorn Talk titled Millennial Hollywood.
And you can find me on Twitter at Serafini TV.
And you can find me at the Tiona Hobson, and you can check out all the shows that AfterBuzz does here, free of charge for you, the fans, and follow us at AfterBuzz TV. Thank you again for watching and listening, and we will be back next week with more Once Upon a Time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.